Hi guys, long time no see. I'm sorry about the lack of videos. God, I wish I had $1 for every time I say that. I would be rich. So today I was originally just going to film kind of like how to increase your psychic ability, but I have a few things that I want to update you on, so it's going to be a mix of things. First of all, I'm going to tell you a little traumatizing story that happened to me on Wednesday. It's Friday now. So I had Wednesday off and I was going to go meet Alana, who's been in some of my videos, at work because she was working. We both work at the same place. So I was like, oh, I'll just pop on some mascara and a little bit of foundation, like nothing too exciting. And I had just washed my eyelash curler. Sorry if you can see Ali in the background, she's really distracting. Bless you. Okay, stop. So I just washed my eyelash curler because if you guys, you know, curl your eyelashes, sometimes makeup and shit gets stuck in it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wash it. So I just washed it and I curled my lashes, but because the curler was still a little bit wet, it kind of didn't curl them properly. So I had just curled them and I had the mascara ready to go, and I looked at them and I was like, no, they're not curled enough. So I went back in and curled them again, and I'm gonna go grab my curler and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Okay, so this is the eyelash curler, and as you can see, it has a spring mechanism in it, so it's always open, and then if I pull it to curl, as soon as I let go, it springs back open, if you guys can get what I mean. So, and this has traumatized me, this experience. I am going to throw this out after I make this video because I'm never using one ever again. The brand, if you're curious, is Amazing Shine. I got it from some cheap Asian store in the city. Anyway, hold on, I just lost my notes. Come back to me. Okay, so I had just curled my eyelashes, but because this was wet, like you guys know what I mean, it gets like gunk and build up just in the silver bit from makeup and whatever. So they didn't curl properly. So I had the mascara wand and I was ready to go, and then I looked at them and I was like, no, it's not curled enough. So I picked this thing up again. Oh, I don't even want to put it near my eye. I curled this eye, I had it down, and my hand slipped. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. My hand slipped, and see how it springs back open and flies away? That happened, and it slipped, but it was still in my hand, and it sprung open and pulled to the side, and I looked down and all of my top eyelashes were stuck to this. And I don't mean it just cut them in half, I mean it pulled out all of my top eyelashes. I am not exaggerating. I will insert a photo in a second of what my eye looks like, so I'll insert it now. And as you can see, I'm not exaggerating. I have like 5 eyelashes in the inner corner. So this thing is bullshit and I would never want to see it ever again. So that happened. So now false eyelashes are going to be my best friend for a really long time until this eye grows back. And the shitty thing is, and if you wear makeup, you guys will know what I'm talking about. You always have a good eye and a bad eye, and this eye always was the good eyelashes, and now they're all gone. So the reason of me telling you guys this story is just so I can vent it out. And also, if you know of good natural false eyelashes, preferably to buy them in Australia would be good, but if not, I'll probably be able to find some on eBay. The favourite ones of mine are the Ardell Demi Wispies, but my local Priceline has sold out of them and they're not restocking them because they're redoing the wall or something that it's on. So I've bought some online, but any other lashes that you know that are kind of really natural looking would be helpful. This is going to be my go-to eye makeup for probably 3 months. I tried to, these ones, the lashes that I have on today are Revlon ones, and they're really expensive and they're good and everything, but you know, they're not, I don't know, I just want some variety. And the shit thing is, with like the Demi Wispies and stuff, I used to be able to wear them without eyeliner and it would look fine. But now, because I don't have any lashes there, it just doesn't look right. So now winged eyeliner, and I have to tight line the top, which I never used to do. But yeah, so that's my traumatic experience. So yeah, leave comments down below of good kind of cheaper, doesn't have to be super cheap, but eyelashes that look pretty natural, because I need some. I need lots of help. Oh, and also like the outer corner of my bottom lashes on this eye gone too. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Whatever. And before I start telling you guys about how to strengthen your psychic abilities, I'm going to tell you a paranormal experience that I had last night. So, I was lying in bed and long story short, yesterday I had a really bad migraine at work and I had a really bad one this morning. It's gone for now because I took a lot of pain medication, because it was like, when I get migraines, I get migraines, like it's all down my neck, and every time I move it feels like someone's punching me in the head. So I'm hoping it kind of goes away so I can do this video, edit it and upload it. So I didn't really have a very good sleep last night. I was just like hoping that if I fell asleep I'd wake up this morning and it would be gone, but it wasn't. And Ali's gonna eat a bone right behind me. So I woke up, no idea what time it was, and my eyes adjust to the dark pretty well, if that makes sense. Basically, even though I'll have my blinds closed, it won't be pitch black because there is street lights outside and stuff. There's always kind of a little bit of glow in the room, so it's not pitch black, I can see. And I woke up and I looked around my room, and I don't know how to explain it. It literally lasted like, I'm trying to explain something that lasted like 3 seconds, if that. I opened my eyes, and as I was opening my eyes, I saw like this outline, but like a figure of a man standing like front on looking at me, and he had blue jeans on and a white top. I don't know what his hair looked like, and it like, he was there just as I was opening my eyes, but then as I kind of like had my eyes open properly, he was gone. So I saw it just as my eyes were opening. It was really, really weird, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And then after that, I kept like closing my eyes and then opening, and then hoping that he would be there still, but he wasn't. But that really freaked me out. And I'm pretty sure that's the only paranormal experience I actually have to update you guys. Except this morning when I woke up, I was making some toast because I had a really bad migraine, and I think my migraines, I usually get them when I have a really low blood sugar level. I'm not diabetic or anything, but if I haven't eaten, like I had lunch yesterday and last night I had like 2 mouthfuls of fried rice, so I didn't eat, so I think that's why my migraine was so bad, because that's usually when I get them. So there is a point in me telling you this. I woke up this morning, my head was thumping, I was like, I'm getting punched in the head, but I was like, I need to make food. So I went into the kitchen and I was doing something, and I heard like this really weird sound, and I don't know if it was someone talking to me because I was like half asleep and I was tired and I had a really bad migraine, but I was like, ugh. It sounded like they said like, hello there, or like, hello lady or something, but it was in a really, really weird voice. And I had the kitchen window shut because I live in a unit block and there's grass and stuff, and there was lawn people, and I was like, why do they have to come when I have a migraine? So I had all the windows shut for that reason, so I can say that it wasn't an outside noise. I don't know, it was really, really weird. So now I'm going to explain how you can make your psychic abilities stronger. Okay, so the first step, and this is kind of going to relate to my last video on how to have paranormal experiences. It kind of goes hand in hand, but I'm going to be a little bit more specific for this one. So obviously the first thing that helps would be having a family history. I do believe, same as what I said in my last video, so I'm sorry if this is boring for you because I am going to be rehashing a lot of stuff that I said in the previous video. Having a family history when it comes to paranormal things and having a psychic ability does help, because I think it makes your ability somewhat stronger, or you know, having grown up around someone who does it or is a medium, whatever, just having it in your life I think will make you more open and have much more of a stronger gift. Me personally, I have a little bit of psychic ability, but it's not as strong as when it comes to kind of being able to see things and sense things. Basically, I'll give you a rundown of what my abilities psychic wise is. It's nothing specific. Most of the time, it's really just, I'll get a really, really, really bad gut feeling. And if you've never had one before, the way that I explain it, and I'm sorry if you can hear a weird sound, Ali's sitting right next to me eating a bone. The way that I explain it is, you know when you've done something that you know that you should not have done, and you know that you're going to get caught out. So say, like, I don't know, when you were a little kid and you broke something of your mum's or your dad's that was really expensive, and they were coming home and you knew that they were going to find out, and you got that really sick feeling and you're like, holy shit, I'm going to get found out. Or if you're really nervous about something, you've got to stand up and you've got to do a speech in front of your whole class and you're shitting yourself. That's the feeling that I get. And I'll give you an example, and this is the strongest example that I can give you of my psychic ability actually coming true. So I would say It was after my grandma died, so maybe I was about 9. Long story short, in Australia, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, there's, when you get old and you can't look after yourself anymore, well, okay, you get old and there's retirement villages, and then after a retirement village you can go to something that's called a hostel. So that's in between a nursing home and a retirement village. So at a nursing home you basically have no privacy, someone's coming in 24/7 looking after you, whereas at a hostel you have your own room, you have your own bathroom, and the only time that you kind of get looked after is mealtime. So everyone that is in this hostel will go and have breakfast, lunch and dinner together. There's a TV room, there's, you know, chances to socialise, so it is the same as a retirement village, but the meals are provided for you, there's nurses there if you need a nurse, stuff like that. So long story short, my grandma was in a hostel for quite a few years before she got really sick. She passed away from gangrene. I'm not going to go into what that is. Anyway, while she was at this specific hostel, and I was probably, well, she passed away when I was 8, so say I was about 6, 7. Not that it was boring for me to visit her, but my mum, obviously it was my mum's mum, so she just wanted to sit down and talk. Long story short, I'd go around, help the nurses if they had to visit people in their rooms, blah blah blah, and like all the old people loved me because it kind of brightened up their day, do you know what I mean, rather than just seeing the same old nurse. Anyway, long story short, my mum started talking to this old guy that was at the hostel, and turns out they used to work together years and years ago. So after my grandma passed away, he was still at the hostel, so we would go and see him. His name is Bruce, FYI. And we'd still go and see him, take him out to lunch and stuff, because his wife passed away like 2 years before he went into the hostel. His family lived in like some other state in Australia, so he didn't have anyone to visit him, so we visited him. And we used to take him out to lunch, yada yada yada. Anyway, so it was a Saturday and we were taking him out to lunch on the Sunday, the following day. So it was a Saturday, Mum and I were outside, I think I was like playing, I think we were throwing a tennis ball to each other, because that was when I just first, a netball when I first started playing netball, so we were practicing throwing and catching. Anyway, out of nowhere, I just burst into tears and I felt so worried, I felt so upset, I felt sick, and I didn't know what was wrong, and Mum was like, what's wrong, and I was like, I don't know, I just feel like something bad's gonna happen. I was like really sorry, I'm like fidgeting with this, chuck it over there. I just felt really worried. I felt sick. I remember it happening like it was yesterday. I was crying. She could not console me. I was just like hysterical. Anyway, the next day comes, we're out to lunch with Bruce, and all of a sudden he is in the middle of talking, and he literally, one second he was up and the next second he just collapsed onto the floor. And he was old, but he didn't have like heart problems, he didn't have anything specifically wrong with him, he was just old. So he just collapsed on the floor and he was like clutching his chest, and he was like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Thank the angels that there was literally, and this is like so hard to believe, there was a table of doctors right behind us, like a huge, like there was like 20 of them. So he lived, but that's an example, that was a really long-winded example of the things that I experienced. So I had a really bad gut feeling that something was going to happen, and then that happened. He got rushed to hospital, but he was fine. Another thing that happens to me a lot, and I'm kind of giving you guys an example of, I mean, you might experience things like this but not kind of put 2 and 2 together, so I'm going to give you an example of things that you know, have happened to me or might be happening to you. Anyway, so something that happens to me all the time is, say for example, it happens with people that I am close with a lot more than what it happens with people that I'm not that close with. So say I haven't spoken to Nathan in a couple of hours, I'll think of him and I'll be like, oh, he hasn't texted me in a few hours, and then he'll text me. With Alana, who's one of my best friends, I'm really close with her to the point that she will call me, and if I will know before I answer the phone if it's just a normal conversation, because we have the kind of friendship where we don't necessarily say, hey, I'm gonna call you, we'll just call each other randomly, and I will know before I pick up if it's gonna be a really good conversation or if she's gonna be on the other end of the line crying. But really a lot of the time I will be thinking of someone when I'm out, and someone that I haven't seen in years, and I will bump into them. Example of this, I was at a shopping centre, almost said it, that's not in close proximity to me, but it's where my ex-boyfriend, not going to say his name, before Nathan, where it's in his area. So I can get to it, but it's not a place that I always go to, but my mum works there. Long story short, Nathan and I were there, and I was like, I think I'm gonna see, what name can I give my ex-boyfriend? I'm gonna call him Bob. I think I'm gonna see Bob today, and I haven't seen him since we broke up, like, so that's like 4 years ago or something. No, that's exaggeration. 3 years ago. Long story short, 3 years ago maybe, and what do you know, I bump into him. Like, I always have that happen. So that's another example. So ways that I think you can gain your psychic ability or strengthen it would be to do a lot of research or reading. And I'm not plugging Mitchell Coombs, but this book of his, Sensing Psychic, this guy, he looks a bit weird in this front cover. It's very, very photoshopped. I promise he doesn't look like so fake in real life. He is, oh my God. Okay, you guys need to go onto YouTube and just type in Mitchell Coombs, The Today Show, which is an Australian news show that's on at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it's not like, and today a guy was killed down Sydney. Like, it's not like a proper news show. It's kind of like a talk show. Anyway, he is on that show every single Friday. So if you want to know what he's like, YouTube that. He is phenomenal. I can't explain it. Anyway, he has 2 books. He has Sensing Psychic and Sensing Spirit. This one is Sensing Psychic. He wrote in this, it says, "To Courtney, may the angels always be with you. Love Mitchell Coombs." I read this in like a day, not even. But he gave me a book, what is this called? Bookmark. I knew I'd get it. And on it, it says, "We don't die, we simply change addresses. Talk to your loved ones in spirit more often, for they are only a whisper away," which I think is really, really nice. But in this book, he talks a lot about, so this one is the Sensing Psychic, which talks about psychic abilities and stuff like that. And then, like I said in my last video, he has one that's called Sensing Spirit. They're reasonably cheap, these books, and honestly, I don't really get into the whole, oh, buy my book. But honestly, the things I learned from this book, I can't even explain. So, he talks about playing, not games, but I'm going to see if I can. Okay, well, I should have gone through this and like bookmark stuff. But basically he talks about doing a lot of exercises with yourself. So for example, when your home phone's ringing, or if your mobile's ringing and it's someone that's like a blocked number, because I don't know about you guys, but on my home phone I can't see who's calling. Try and tune in and concentrate for a few seconds and think about who you think it will be and answer. Do that every time the phone rings, and it's just kind of tuning into your psychic abilities and your spirit, and I don't know how to word it, but that's an example. Another example he gave was before you open the mailbox, have a really long think about what you think is going to be in the mailbox and see if you're right. I don't know if you guys would be interested in me reading a little. I'm going to read a little passage for you guys. I'm going to read the introduction because it's really, really interesting. It's only 2 pages. So I'm going to start. The telephone rings. You rush to answer it. The person you have been thinking about says hello. For some inexplicable reason, you feel compelled to take the long way home from work. Only later you discover a tragic accident would have blocked your usual route home. Someone you haven't seen in years comes to mind. A few days later, you bump into him or her. Everyone is naturally psychic. Perhaps you regularly solve problems in your dreams or experience aha moments out of the blue. Maybe your inner voice guides the decisions you make, or are you someone who just knows something without knowing why you know it? Perhaps you can recall a time when you had a hunch and trusted it because it felt right. Have sensations like butterflies in your stomach or the hair standing up on the back of your neck ever alerted you to danger. Maybe you've glimpsed the future, heard a voice from beyond, or acted upon an impulse that has saved your life. Everyday people from all walks of life sense the unspoken, read between the lines, and experience events that defy logic. Subtle or dramatic, these are all hallmarks of natural psychic ability. Within the following pages, I share with you remarkable real-life stories about extraordinary moments of psychic awakening by everyday people. Astonished parents talk about the amazing psychic gifts of their young children. Pet lovers recall heartbreaking moments when saying goodbye to a much-loved pet, only to sense their welcome return from the spirit worlds days, months, or even years later. These and many more heartfelt, surprising, and profound psychic moments will give you the keys to open the doors for your own psychic journey. So if you can, get your hands on this book, because I can't even say enough good things about it. But basically, I mean, he pretty much covered what I wanted to say. So sometimes you'll just kind of get the urge to go, you know what, I'm not going to go that way home today, I'm going to go this way. And then you hear, oh, someone had a car accident, someone had this, someone had that. Really, a lot of the time it's just trusting your gut instinct. And that's what I say to, like, even my friends, if they're asking me a question, I'm like, well, what do you think? And a lot of the time, something that I read, I don't know if it was in this book or I heard it somewhere or something, but a lot of the time, if you're asked a question, or just say you have to think of a reason or an example, just say you are asked a question, the very first thing that comes to your head, you say it, and that's what you go with. That's what your gut instinct is. I always say to never second guess your gut instinct. I don't know, I'm totally rambling, and I really hope this video helped you guys. But there's a bajillion sites on, I mean, if you just Google exercises to strengthen my psychic ability, things will come up. But I am, like, when I met Mitchell Coombs, it was like someone who's obsessed with, like, Justin Bieber, meeting Justin Bieber. Like, I totally fangirled him. I was like, oh my god, I love you. But yeah, even on his website, he has little things that you guys can read and stuff. But mainly just, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying and I'm rambling, so I'm gonna go. But I hope this video, oh, what am I saying? I really hope this video helped you guys in some way, in one way or another. I'm gonna find you. Sorry, that song just popped in my head because I was gonna say one way or another, and then it popped in my head. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.